Fast DOM when selling your house? What's that mean for you? Dave Edwards, Treasure Valley Dave here, your great real estate agent by your side when it comes time for you to sell your house, buy a house, or even relocate to the Treasure Valley. So what are we talking about today? Recently I did a pretty in-depth video on DOM. That's your days on market. So that's how many days it's been since you put your house on the market and until you get under contract with the buyer. And we talked about these big, huge numbers, triple digits, and it's like you want to avoid that. So I have some examples of some very short DOM, very fast days on the market, and I want to see what we can learn from that, to see what you can learn from that when it comes time to sell your house. So let's start off. This is just a random sample of homes, and so we have this one over here on a Juniper. Let's see what we can learn from that. Okay, if you remember on the previous video, I'm sure there's a link around here somewhere. One of the things that we said can cause to make it harder for buyers to understand what the house is all about is to not use professional photographers. This one, they did not use professional photographers. We have a maximum of 50 pictures we can put out there on the internet, which is where most people find their homes. They only put 5 on here. So they're kind of like doing everything wrong. Pictures are fuzzy. They crooked. It looks like a fight scene out of Batman or something. And so pictures don't really tell a whole lot of a story. But so what did we find here? It's a very small house, so it's going to be harder to sell. It's, well, let's see, 2 bedrooms, 2 bath, and they priced it at $315, and it spent 0 days on the market. It's not even 1,000 square feet of living space, and it went that fast. Now, why do you suppose that is? Wasn't because of the pictures. Probably because it was priced right. I mean, actually, this was not a screaming deal. Because you can still get houses that are 1,200 square foot around the same price. So maybe it's the location is great. Actually, location's fine. It's just in a nice little subdivision. I don't see any railroad tracks anywhere. You know, we're always looking for those. So, that was one. Well, let's check out another one. Alrighty, let's check out Glacier Peak. So, what are some of the things we noticed from this? It looks to be very well staged. Professional photographers. See, if you're just using your phone, you know, an agent is trying to be on the cheap or something, and you have the light inside and then a bright day outside. Normally that bright day outside is going to make the inside really dark, but our professional photographer managed to capture the brightness of the inside and still the blue skies of the outside. Kudos. And I don't know if no, I'm going to say this is completely staged because most people wouldn't have stuff sitting out like this on the countertops unless it was for staging purposes. But it does look very nice. Yeah, there's nothing. So it looks like the house was empty, which always makes it easier for buyers' agents to get in to take a look at it, and for buyers. They do have it staged very nicely. So, and it's when they're staging it, they're keeping it sort of neutral. That way the buyers can kind of imagine their things in there. Now, whether the buyers wake up every morning and clean up their bedroom just like this, I don't know, but it's kind of a fantasy that, you know, I've had as well. So, yeah, and let's talk about the price on this one. So $370, and it was, the days on the market was 1 day, and it was easy to show. It was professional photography and one day on the market, and they got a very fair price. This is 1650 square feet. So it seems like this is a pretty decent price for this house. And the house is built in 2004, so it's almost 20 years old. Okay, good job. Let's look at the next one. So what can we learn from Haskett Circle here? Let's see. Okay, the first picture looks very nice. The pictures are telling a story. That's a sign of a good professional photographer. We're walking up to the front of the house. Now we're inside, that's where we were. And then that's where we were. And then we kind of turn our back and we get a view of that way. So that the pictures are in a logical sequence that takes you on a tour through the house. Sometimes you see pictures and it's just hopscotch all over the place. Nice pictures, very bright inside. I want to say professionally taken. And this is an older house. Ooh, wow. Whoa, some more contrast wall. What do they call that? Very nice. So this house was 1,340 square feet, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and it was on the market for one day. Built in 2001, so it's well over 20 years old. And it went for $299,900, the exact same as the asking price. So at this small of a home, I'm going to say it's priced absolutely right. Because that's one of the fears, is if you have 0 days on the market that maybe it was priced too low. Well, we'll talk about that because the market's not going to let you price it too low. And there's nothing wrong with 1 day on the market, and there's nothing wrong with 5 days on the market. That's still extremely fast. Let's take a look at the next one. So this one over here on Greenleaf is a little different. It should be a very difficult house to sell. And I say that because it has been moved. The original house is much older, and it's in a very unusual situation. Well, let's take a look here, see if we can get an idea what I'm talking about. So the house we're talking about is on this. The property is back here in the back, and there's a little driveway that comes up this way. So it's definitely not a standard kind of a situation. Can't even see it really. So it should be difficult to sell. Does it have a garage? It's good size, 1,634 square feet. Did I tell you days on the market was 1 day? So let's see what the pictures look like. Okay, the pictures are telling us a story. That we have to go down this driveway to get to it. Very good use of the 50 pictures that were allowed. Okay, it looks like it's, well, obviously professional photography. I'm guessing that the owners still live there. This does not look like a staging item. I mean, they're staging it with the owner's materials. It's not stuff that was brought in. Some pretty vibrant colors there. But the pictures really do tell a nice story of what this house could be like. Okay. And so what did they do right? Professional photographers, they had the house, even though it's occupied, they have the clutter gone. They have the pieces of furniture that are there in a way that it makes it look like it's staged. So that way potential buyers can imagine themselves living there. They closed the toilet lid. Kudos. Alrighty. So it went for $350, the same as the asking price, went in 1 day. And yeah, I think they did a good job on this, considering what they were kind of facing with it being such an unusual house and having been moved before. Let's take a look at the next one. Let's see what we can learn about 300 East Dooley. So this is, not sure about these pictures yet. It's a very gray day. We kind of got the garbage cans there in the shot, and then part of the house is blocked by the tree. I'm not sure yet. So apparently it's still being lived in. They did clean up the clutter, so that's nice. And this is a huge piece of furniture, and it takes up a lot of space, and it can make the room look smaller. And if you're there in person, it might. This is a little bit of a angled lens on it, but I'm not sure. I've never been inside. I want to say the pictures are all right. They're not, I don't think they're professionally. Notice on the other ones, when they do a shot of the kitchen that's arranged like this, it's straight on, it's dead on, right down the middle. And then of course the counter is absolutely horizontal. So this one is kind of like a fight scene from Batman. Here's our clue right here. A vertical oriented picture. It's like, this is not, it's not consistent. So I'm going to say they didn't have a professional photographer. It's not bad pictures, but you can kind of, the lid's down, okay. So this is one thing about this is, 2 days on the market for this one, $335, which is what the asking price was. It's only 1,152 square feet, but sometimes you notice that these houses that are a little different actually sell pretty quickly. And like we saw with that one, the previous one that had been moved. So what's unique about this one is there's no HOA, but also it's in this situation here where, come on, go away. The lot is really actually huge. It's all this space here kind of turns into not quite a flag lot, but certainly a bigger lot than a normal lot. And it's 0.38 acres. So that's probably what was really attractive about this. So I guess maybe the attractiveness of the uniqueness overcame the pictures, maybe. And it's like at 1,152 square feet, at $335,000, it's okay. It's not like a screaming deal. They weren't giving it away. So that's kind of, I guess, encouraging that these are priced right. The market's not going to let you price it wrong. Let's look at the next one. All right, let's take a look at 227 North 25th Street. A couple things that I'm noticing right off is it's barely 1,000 square feet, coming in at 1,034. This was 2 days on the market. 3-bedroom, 2-bath. So it's kind of a typical little smaller house, and from 1999. Let's see the pictures. I'm kind of liking this. It looks attractive. Looks like they've done some, I don't know about improvements, but they've certainly maintained this very well. Professional photography right there. You can tell the difference. That's kind of cool how the rain's on the driveway makes it kind of shimmery. And another sign of a professional photographer is that you get some of these shots that are down a little bit lower, like about waist high, shooting from the hip maybe. Whereas most agents are out there, they're just right up here, standing up. You happen to be 5'5", that's where your camera's going to be. Let's see, I'm saying that this is probably staged. No one's living there, which again makes it easier for the buyer's agent to show the buyers. I say that because there's no refrigerator. The staging looks nice. Kind of a couple nice little touches there. And you know that little splash of color there in the kitchen and right here in the bathrooms too, that's something that maybe the agent can provide, or maybe the seller. Maybe you have some items that would look good. Just a little splash of color. You just kind of have to have the eye for something like that. Even here in the utility room, just a little splash kind of makes it feel less sterile. Um, like here in the front room, they could have maybe put a plant or something. Not that this looks bad. This looks absolutely fine. But even at this lower end, 325 is, well, 324.9 is what they got, and that's the asking price. So staging it, good pictures, and this was like very minor staging, but nonetheless, I think it contributes. Yeah. So what about this place? So we already said it was 324.9 on the market for 2 days. It's vacant, and so it's really easy to show. Oh, and no HOAs. So that's pretty nice. All righty. Well, I'm feeling good about this. Let's check out another one. All right. Brooklyn, 4080 Brooklyn. So most of the houses we've been looking at so far have been kind of at the lower end of the price range. Smaller houses, well, not Brooklyn here. This is 4,310 square feet, massive. This was $699.9, and that was the asking price, and was on the market for 2 whole days. So, do you suppose they had professional photography? Maybe. Let's take a look. Alrighty. I mean, so far so good. Yeah, that looks, wow, all the lines, it's kind of telling the story. So it looks like it's vacant. Obviously, that makes it easier for the buyer's agent. Got the fire going, very nice touch. All the lights are on. That's telling me this is probably professional photography. The camera angle's a little bit lower. No refrigerator, so no one's living there. Looks like even is there under counter lighting there? No, I can't tell. There's another example of you have all this brightness inside, and yet you still get to see outside. Professional photography, there's same thing here. Makes such a big difference. Wow, good shot of the bathroom vanities there. Yeah. So they got their asking price. Huge house, 2 days on the market, built in 2004. So, and it's also unusual in that you don't usually find this many houses with, 4,300 square feet. One thing it also has that you won't always find, hang on, we're almost there. This huge room, obviously it's in a basement because there's a egress area. Huge basement room there for, I don't know, whatever you have, maybe ballroom dancing or something. So it's very unusual. It's one of those that doesn't come on the market very often. So when we have buyers that are looking for something that is kind of particular, we'll set them up on a search as well as for that particular thing. Plus, we also keep our eye out too, as well as our buyers. They're always, they're right there on the Realtor.com or whatever, always looking. And when something like this does come on the market, they need to move fast. So the buyers need to be totally pre-approved and ready to jump on it. So you as the seller with an unusual house like this, you can, with the right kind, so back to the buyers, they're looking at the pictures online. And so you as the seller, you want to have great pictures that really tell the story and highlight the house, all the good things about it. Plus, we're not using one of those fisheye lenses that makes the phone booth size room look like a mansion or something. All right, so that was a pretty good look at a higher end. Let's see what our next one looks like. All right, we'll make this one quick. This is pretty much like some of the others we've been seeing over here on Cedar Brook. It was on the market for four days, built in '98. Nothing really special about this house, that's really way out there. It's 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,300 square feet, so it's not monstrous. It does have that third garage bay, which is very nice. I'm liking that front picture. Okay. I can't tell yet if someone's living here or not, but it's staged, whether it's the owner's materials or they brought in a staging company. All the lights are on, except for that one right there. I wonder what's up with that. It's very well proportioned as far as the picture goes. See, there's what I was talking about before. It's just a shot straight down the room. Everything is perpendicular and, straight and level. So it's just a regular run-of-the-mill house that's doing higher math here, 25 years old, but it shows very well. The pictures do a great job of explaining what this house is all about. And it's staged nicely. Yeah, so compare this to some of those that we saw before on that other video with the high DOM. This really shows a great way of, telling people what the house is about. Like I say, it's not a huge one. It does have that third garage bay, which makes it appealing. 4 days on the market, and they got the asking price. Let's see if there's any more to look at. So this one over here on 11th, it's the south part of Old Town. What's different about this? Well, it isn't unique. Like I say, sometimes unique attracts people. This was on the market for 4 days, built in 1920. So that's what kind of makes it unique. It's also on a very small lot, just 0.08 of a lot. $284,990. That was the asking price. It looks like that's exactly what they got for it. So let's take a look at these pictures. Square footage, 874, 2-bedroom, 1-bath. Very tiny, very unique in that aspect. So like I say, you can get regular, we just saw a 1,300 square foot house for another $40,000 with a 3-car garage. This one doesn't have a garage or a carport, but let's see what we've got. It does have the uniqueness factor. It's a nice picture. It almost looks like the size of a shed that you see in the backyard of some of these places. But now look at this. All the lights are on. You can see outside. Looks like some staging furniture because it's not very heavy. I don't think they use a fold-out sleeper couch for staging material. It looks very pleasant. It lets the buyers see themselves, their furniture, or what they would hope their furniture would be in a place like this. It's very light and bright. It's very tiny, but the pictures, I'm not saying that the pictures are lying and makes it look bigger than it is, but it does capture the feel of space. Now, I'm sure once you go there, it's going to feel a little bit tight. It's got to feel like 874 square feet because that's how big it is. So I'd say they did a great job on this one. Well, that's attractive. So there's another unique one. Let's take a look at it right now. So here's another older house, 1910 apparently. Let's take a look. Again, this is the south part of Old Town Nampa. We don't usually get all that many at one time, but here we have it. So what do we have here? 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath. It does have a basement. Built in 1910. This one was on the market for 9 days, and it went for $324,900, which was the asking price. So 9 days is enough time for the market to respond. And it apparently responded favorably because they got their asking price. At an older house like this, well, let's see what it looks like. I mean, was it priced right? So the picture's very attractive. Just kind of takes you back to the old days, huh? The white picket fence. See, that's, you know what the fairy tale is, isn't it? So if you're looking for this kind of a traditional neighborhood feel, wow, you're getting it right here. So telling a story. So I'm guessing this is definitely professional photography. So it's staged nicely. Now, I don't know if it's vacant or not, but the furniture tells a story. And of course, the architectural details that you're not going to get necessarily on a brand new house. So the pictures are not lying either. We see that there's a little issue there at the wall. Plaster and lath is buckled at some point. Obviously, we could have a home inspector come out and take a look at it, and if there is a problem, have that fixed before we open it up to the market. Or maybe there's nothing to fix. It's nothing. It's just a cosmetic thing, and we can relay that information to our potential buyers as well. And speaking of honesty, got the edge of the countertop is broken, and we'll see in this next picture. I mean, the next one after that. Well, one of these pictures. Well, there it is. We see the other corner. That corner is broken. This corner is broken. So they're not hiding anything. It is a used house. So if the buyer wants a new house, we usually recommend they get a new house. But this might be a place, if this was your house, it's got good pictures. It's got a lot of hurdles to overcome. It's not your normal kind of a place. It doesn't have a 3-car garage. It doesn't have a 2-car garage. If you're looking to live in a period house, this is really going to attract people that want to do that. And like I said earlier, it's like if you have something that's unusual about your house, that can be a plus, and it can sell very quick, as did this one, 9 DOM, days on the market. So good pictures, it's staged well, and has some unique characteristics that they really capitalized on. Again, with the pictures in particular, I think once someone comes to see this house, they're probably going to fall in love with it. If the picture that had talked to them had spoken with the potential buyer, so this is a very good thing. Let's see if we can look at one more house. All right, so Midsummer's Court. That sounds romantic, huh? Maybe if you're into Shakespeare. Huh. So what do we have here? We have, well, it's pending in 9 days and built in 2006. It's a little unusual. It's on almost a quarter acre, 0.23 acre. And it is 1660 square feet, 3-car garage. So that's all very nice. So this actually came on the market at $350. 9 days later, pending at 385. So they got 35,000 more. So that's what I said earlier, is the market's not going to let you get the wrong price on it. It may not be the price that you want, but the market's going to tell us what the value is. Nice pictures. The lights are on. Got the camera angle down a little bit low. And it's possible they, at $350, which was the asking price, which would be a pretty screaming deal on this place, maybe they're generating some multiple offers. I don't know if they did or not, but I would not be surprised. They're another mark of a professional photographer, the angle straight down the middle. And then the far end completely horizontal like that door panel. Plus it's light inside, yet you can still see the light outside. I'm guessing this is still occupied. Usually they don't have a staging trigger. I mean, I suppose they could, but everything actually fits well, you know, visually. So I think they did a good job on this one. Like I said, it was the price. I think they started a little bit low, and they did that on purpose to get multiple offers, and that actually worked out great because the market's not going to bring in a price that's wrong, and they ended up getting 35 over asking, and I think that's probably where they wanted to be anyway. So days on the market. We saw in the previous video long days on the market, you know, up to 100, 200, 300 days on the market. And some of the reasons that caused those to be like they were. Now we just looked at some very short days on the market. We saw some of the reasons, some of the commonalities of these. Typically it's professional photography, some staging, even if it's just light staging. Plus we also saw that they got pretty decent prices for them. They weren't, I didn't see any screaming deals on there that someone stole it or some seller left too much money on the table. Now, we don't know what their motivations and things like that were, but I'd say everything that on these that we saw today, the agent did absolutely what was the right thing. And the seller got great service from that agent. So anyway, that's short days on the market. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you on the next video. Hey, thanks for stopping in and learning more about real estate in Nampa, Idaho and the Treasure Valley. If you'd like to learn more, watch this video here next or binge on this playlist. When it comes time to sell a home, buy a home, or even relocate to the Treasure Valley, your Treasure Valley Dave team is your real estate expert by your side, helping you get home.